there are not as many things as freeing as nature. Birds chirping, animals running around, the breeze blowing in our hair. It's something that Americans crave to have, is that kind of freedom. But there's something families are facing in their daily lives that are tearing them apart and causing them to go farther from that kind of freedom, and that's financial debt. It's causing divorces in today's society. It's ruining families. It's tearing them apart to the point where they don't know where to look at. The Wall Street Journal reports that 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Imagine looking down your own city street and counting 10 houses, and 7 of those houses are living paycheck to paycheck. That's just amazing that those families on your own street are barely making it by. And of those 70%, only 55% of them even care and are stressed out about their debt. What about the other 15%? What, are they just content on living the way they live? Another report from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston states that 56% of Americans carry consumer debt. That's not counting their mortgage. In addition, couples who argue over their finances, usually once a month or twice a month, usually end up in divorce because of their finances. While most people in society think debt is just a way of life, I'm convinced that there's a better way than getting into debt. Let me tell you what the Bible says about debt. Proverbs 22 says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." Debt causes stress. This has been the case since the beginning of time. The Bible has 2,350 verses on finances and money. That's more than heaven, hell, and prayer put together. That's just amazing that the Bible talks that much about money. That tells you that God's serious and He knows that money is going to cause a lot of issues. Or money could be good, depending on which way you want to look at it. Another thing from the Federal Reserve statistical release says in 2007, consumer debt, not including our mortgages, was $2.5 trillion. That's a lot of money, and I'm telling you, I'm right along with it. My finances are right there too, but there's a way out of it. Hebrews 12:11 says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." In order to win with money, we have to be disciplined. And one way I've found to be disciplined is take courses on learning how to deal with your money. And I recommend the Dave Ramsey course, Financial Peace. He has 7 baby steps to get you from the depths up into financial freedom, where you're able to just do wonders with your money. And what I want to talk to you about is his baby steps 1 and 2, where baby step 1 is to get $1,000 in the bank, in the savings, as an emergency fund. It's an emergency fund where if what he calls Murphy is at your door, you have something to come and cover that cost. It's not an emergency fund to say, oh, we need a new couch, or we need a new bike. It's to cover the actual emergencies life gives you. Baby step 2 it's called the snowball. Paying all your smallest debts to the largest debts, in that order, while you're paying your bills on time. Basically, doing that, you just say you have a $50 debt, you knock that one out, and the money that you would be throwing at that, you put it with the other money, just continually knock out debt. And you'll be amazed of how your life will change when you knock all this debt out. Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, but expecting a different result. And that's where Dave Ramsey comes in and says, let's change that. Let's get your life on track and let's move it forward. He also says you need to stop using credit cards. Do everything you can, cut your credit cards up, because all you're doing is getting more in debt. Stop eating out. Stop going to the movies. Your friends may look at you and think you're crazy, but you know what? In the long run, it's going to be better. As Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. Meaning, stick to a budget, do the best you can, move forward, so later on you'll have your riches, you'll have retirement, you'll have money to give to people, and you'll just be totally blessed. I know it's not going to be easy doing stuff like this. It's going to take time, but you and I can do it. When you invest your time in doing this, you'll be able to save for retirement, save for your college, for your kids, and the best part is you'll be able to give. So just remember, by beginning your debt snowball and living within your means, you can live a debt-free life, experience the freedom.